watching Dontaesboxingnation.
Those are always the fights that the fans want to see. They want to see you against Devin Haney. They want to see you against Tank Davis. If you had an option, like, who will be the next fight for you?
It's quite obvious. I mean, I want to fight Tank Davis next, and there's so much more that's in store that, you know, after this fight and after that Davis fight, sky's the limit. I could do a lot of things, but the reason I say Devin last is just because he's my friend. But when we step in there, I'll be coming in with the same passion. I would fight anybody. So, toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney. Toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney.
Super fight. It sells out the Staples Center. You make a fortune. But as I've said in every interview, if you get Tank or you get Pacquiao, I can't argue. If you don't, I think you should consider Devin Haney, personally, because I think it's a massive fight for massive money, and if you believe you can win... Oh, I know. Yeah, but then you should take the fight. If you don't get those other fights. But okay, I respect you for chasing... But if I do get it? Oh, I respect you. And I say 100% that was the right move for you. But if you don't, I would like you to consider Devin Haney. Okay, I will.
I got Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney... I mean, you see with Nakatani, Lopez had a little bit of trouble with that right hand over the top. I think Devin's even a little bit more craftier, obviously more craftier than Nakatani. I think Devin beats Teofimo. I think Teofimo has a great fight with Tank, but I still feel Tank beats him. I feel Devin beats Tank, and I beat Tank. I beat everybody.
Toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? I'm going to keep saying this. As you guys can see, the most dangerous weapon in the world is a microphone and a camera. I could have did this whole video without any commentary, just letting Ryan Garcia speak for himself. Because just like Teofimo Lopez, the more they speak, the deeper that hole gets that they're digging for themselves. So anyway, it was just announced by Ryan Garcia that instead of him fighting for a title, because he was Devin Haney's mandatory, he decided to take a step back in line and fight in a title eliminator for Devin Haney's belt all over again against Garcia-Fortuna. He'll be fighting Fortuna July 9th. Now, of course, the champion, Devin Haney, he responded to this. And Ryan actually clapped back. So this is what Devin had to say. I thought he said he wanted a big fight with Pac or Tank. #cap. Let's not forget Ryan is fighting another title eliminator when he could have easily been fighting for a title. And then Ryan, he responds, but he doesn't respond directly to Devin Haney. He tags someone else in his tweet. And just keep in mind, remember everything that Ryan Garcia said in those clips that I played for you earlier on in this video. This is how Ryan Garcia responds. He says, truth is, I don't respect his career. Hasn't fought anyone, played it politically to get a title. And I don't think he deserves it. So I'm going to keep fighting good fighters like Fortuna, Gervonta, Teofimo. And when he steps up and wins against gold fighters, I'll beat him too. So the first question would be, if that's the case, why is Ryan Garcia fighting in a title eliminator against Garcia-Fortuna for Devin Haney's belt? This is not making any sense at all, right? You see, the problem that Ryan Garcia is having right now is he already told the truth on camera before when he said that Devin Haney would be his toughest fight. I mean, this man, he picks Devin Haney to basically beat everyone except for him. He said that Devin would beat Teofimo, Devin would beat Tank Davis, right? And then he says he would beat Devin Haney, of course. But he admitted that Devin Haney was his most difficult fight. So once you say something like that, you can't come out later on and then say, oh, well, you know, who has he fought? You already told the truth. You already told the truth. it's too late to try to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It doesn't work that way. I mean, Ryan doesn't understand. He would have been respected a lot more if he would have just came out and kept it 100. If he would have just said, I'm not ready for that fight. And if he would have just continued saying what he was saying before, you know, that's going to be my most difficult fight. So I want that to be my last fight. I'd rather go after other fighters like Tank Davis and Teofimo. If he were to do that, then he wouldn't look as bad as he's looking now. His other problem is he keeps saying that he wants to fight other fighters like Tank, but he had an opportunity to fight Tank, and he turned that fight down to fight Garcia-Fortuna. So he's looking bad both ways. The only way he would have been able to explain not fighting for Devin Haney's title is if he was fighting against Tank Davis in one of the biggest fights of the year. He didn't do that either. After Ryan Garcia beat Luke Campbell, his whole team basically said he was not ready for the likes of a Tank Davis or a Devin Haney, right? Even his own mentor and idol, Canelo Alvarez, said that he wanted to see Ryan Garcia fight a couple more people, and then after that, he'll be ready for everyone. Which is a nice way for him to say he's not ready, he's not on the level of a Tank Davis or a Devin Haney. That's pretty much what Canelo Alvarez said. And Ryan Garcia's team, they said the same thing. They didn't think he was ready for these fighters. I'm noticing a pattern, guys. You guys notice the pattern right now? Canelo Alvarez let the Canelo fans tell it he wasn't ready when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Virgil Ortiz said out of his own mouth when he was asked, does he believe he's ready to fight Terrence Crawford? He says, if I'm ready or not, I still want to take the fight. Which is a clear indication that he's not even 100% sure he's ready to fight Terrence Crawford. I'm seeing fans all the time say that Ryan Garcia is not ready for Devin. Ryan is not ready for Tank Davis. I just seen a comment in a video I dropped the other day where someone said that Mario Barrios, who's at 140, is not ready for the much smaller Tank Davis. Oscar Valdez is not ready for Shakur Stevenson, even though Shakur has been chasing him for over a year. Now, 2 different weight classes he's been chasing Oscar Valdez. Jamal Charlo, or I should say Canelo Alvarez, he's still not ready to fight against Andrade or Jamal Charlo when they've both been chasing him for 6 years. Jaime Munguia was Demetrius Andrade's mandatory. He turned down a title shot because he felt he wasn't ready to fight against the champion, Demetrius Andrade. Everything that I just said was fact, guys. I mean, when do the training wheels come off? Where's all the pride? Where's all the confidence of these fighters feeling that they are truly the best in their division? This has really got to be pissing off the Mexican greats like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Eric Morales, Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, because they were always ready to fight the best black fighters, the best Mexican fighters, and whoever else was out there. Now today, outside of David Benavidez, none of these guys are willing to step up and fight the best black fighters. Some of them don't even want to fight the best Mexican fighters when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, right? Boxing has always been about race, but I never thought race would be the reason we're not getting any of the biggest fights to be made. Of course, these fighters will be willing to fight second-tier black fighters like Ryan Garcia. Of course, he has no problem fighting against Garcia-Fortuna, even though that's another fight that is not a guaranteed win for Ryan, and that's because of the performance we've seen him in against Luke Campbell. Fortuna is not an A-level fighter, but he is a decent fighter, and Ryan will be tested. But like I said, though, it's just a shame we're not getting a lot of these big fights because of race. because of the gift and curse of being a black gifted elite fighter. I mean, we'll get some of these fights eventually. We just don't know when. You know, something else I want to say, it's funny because I notice every once in a while you'll see fans that are not black and they'll try to basically defend their fighters avoiding a black guy by trying to say, well, what about that other black guy? What about Errol Spence? He doesn't want to fight Crawford, or et cetera, et cetera. What I notice is even when they're accusing a black fighter of avoiding someone, they're accusing him of avoiding another black fighter, which simply just tells us that hands down, black fighters are the most avoided overall. So in a certain way, it's like the Canelo fans or whoever, they're basically saying, hey man, we're not the only ones avoiding these black fighters. Some black guys are doing it too. That is called the modern day black murderer's row. If you guys have never heard of the black murderer's row, I want you to Google it after you watch this video and read what the black murderer's row was about on Wikipedia, so you understand what I'm talking about. They were some of the most gifted, or I would say the gifted, the most talented, the most dangerous black fighters that were the most avoided. But they weren't just avoided by non-black fighters. They were also avoided by some of the greatest black fighters. Fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson avoided the black murderer's row, or members of the black murderer's row. This is exactly what we're seeing today. The only difference today, which makes it very different, is social media. Social media does apply a lot more pressure on these fighters that are avoiding dangerous fighters on that black murderer's row. Therefore, I truly believe some of these fights will come to fruition eventually. We just don't know when they'll happen. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man ScalpCarolinas on Instagram. Now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elodiki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
An important message from Youth Fountain Laboratory, makers of VasoFlux and VasoFlux for Men. If you're over the age of 35 and over the years you've eaten pizza, dairy foods, deli meats, or meats with fat, you are likely to have some degree of plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. This increases your risk of suffering a stroke or heart attack exponentially, and no one wants such a catastrophic event to occur. Introducing Blackout. Blackout is made of all natural ingredients proven to help dissolve clots in the blood, remove calcium deposits and plaque from the walls of veins and arteries, improve viscosity of the blood, improve elasticity of the veins and arteries, treat varicose veins, and prevent the reoccurrence of plaque buildup. For more information, visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856. And remember, to help unclog veins and arteries, get the Blackout.